Hello and welcome to the CIS YouTube channel. My name is Oliver Hartwich and I'm a research fellow here at the center, and today we're going to talk about water. I've got my colleague Rebecca Gill with me, and Rebecca's just written a new fascinating report looking at Australia's water supply. Hi Rebecca.
Hi Oliver.
Now, in your report, you're dealing with the question whether Australia, a growing Australia, is running out of water in the next few years. And we've all worried about this, of course, because of the drought in the past. But you say, no, stop worrying. There's enough water around. Is that right?
That's so true. In last year in the elections, there were these big kind of debates. Do we have enough water to support our population? No, we have to restrict migration. We can't have this population growth. We don't have the water. We were seeing in the drought, everyone was seeing this decade of drought, and it was worrying. Now we've entered a new period, and it's not to say a drought won't reoccur, but we have the chance to now plan for this population growth.
We're talking about massive population growth. The intergenerational report said something about 35 million people by 2050, but you say we can deal with it. How much do households currently actually consume of Australia's water?
That is true. Households do consume only 13% of Australia's total water consumption, whereas agriculture is the main consumer of 50% of our total water demand. Yet population growth is occurring in urban areas. 85% of our population live around the coast in urban regions. So when we're looking at population growth and the water demand, we have to look at those households.
And you say it is possible to deal with it because there are technologies around to deal with the challenges?
Exactly. In the last 20 years, there have been significant advancements in the technologies of water-efficient appliances, desalination technology, recycling, which have all led to those technologies having the capacity to provide the additional water that we all need to have these households.
So it's a real technology mix we're talking about.
Exactly. No one technology will be enough, but a combination will be needed and is available.
So not just one single technology, but can you give us an example of the things we're looking at?
So we've got the desalination plants, we've got 6 in our capital cities. We've got the recycling technology that is much more efficient now and is recognised by World Health Standards to be able to supply drinking water that is recycled. And we've got, in a lot of homes, many more homes have tanks installed for their rainwater. They have dual flushes in the toilets. A lot of homes have the water efficient shower heads, so that they're all contributing.
And I even read something in your report about waterless washing machines. Is that true?
That's true. In Time magazine last year, one of the best inventions was the almost waterless washing machine. So there's about 1 or 2 litres, but it's greatly lowering the water consumption of our average water washing machine.
I must say I want to try this before I believe it. But anyway, you also talk in the report about something completely different, namely the pricing mechanism. Now, what's wrong with pricing water in Australia today?
Well, it's really important to have the variable component of the pricing mechanism and the fixed fee. And a lot of countries of the OECD membership of countries are leaning towards this variable pricing mechanism. So it's important for Australia to keep that up. But in order to have this pricing mechanism, we've got to meter our households efficiently. Currently, we've got 84% of households metered, which compares to France and Sweden and the Czech Republic, which have 100% apparently of houses metered.
Now, what difference does it make when you start metering?
Well, metering records how much water you're actually using. So once you have that installed in your home, it's been proven, and there's evidence that households reduce their water consumption by 10% after a meter.
That's quite a few Olympic swimming pools, I guess.
It is, when you count all the households. There's 8.2 million households currently in Australia. If each one cut down their consumption.
But your report also mentions that you really want to take into account water scarcity. So in a drought, water would cost more, I suppose.
That's right. We can't really regulate the levels of our dams. It does depend on our highly variable rainfall. That is why we've got to have the mix of solutions and new water sources such as desalination, recycling, the water efficient appliances, so that when dam levels fall, we can rely on the other ones and not have severe water restrictions or severe permanent price rises.
It sounds so easy. It's almost a story of normal demand and supply interacting, would you say?
That's right. There's a scarcity variable pricing mechanism so that when dam levels fall, we can raise the price of water, and then when they rise again, we can reduce it. So it's kind of a vice versa situation. Fascinating
stuff. Thank you very much, Rebecca. If you're interested in the report, you will find it on our website at www.cis.org.au. Thank you very much and enjoy reading Rebecca's report.